If you're a 90s kid or you're into intense fights and boxing, I'm sure you got hooked on the anime Knockout. This anime is about the boxing journey of Ippo Makunouchi, a boxer who has dynamite in his fists. On this channel, we will discuss the battles he went through and other characters that become our idols as we grew up. Today, we will talk about Ippo Makunouchi's first fight with the incredibly tough and skilled boxer who would also become one of Ippo's lifelong rivals. And he is none other than Miyata Ichiro. Let's start the story. Here we can see that our hero is being beaten up without a fight because he is being bullied by Umezawa's group, saying that he smells like worms. Allegedly, the whole classroom smells like worms when Ippo enters the room. Here, Ippo apologized and said that he couldn't help it because this is their livelihood. And while Ippo is being beaten up, Takamura saw this and helped our protagonist. Umezawa's group tried to gang up on Takamura. Here, Takamura showed his speed. Takamura dodged the punches thrown at him. After that, it was shown that in that brief moment, Takamura got all the buttons on the uniforms of these bullies. The bullies ran away in fear. Ippo lost consciousness and was taken by Takamura to a boxing gym. Our protagonist woke up startled by a loud punch on a punching bag, and he was amazed at the sight of the boxers in the boxing gym. Here, Takamura said, "I hate those who prey on the weak, but I hate more those who don't fight back and just let it happen." Because of this, Ippo remembered how Umezawa insulted his mother, and he cried in annoyance on his way out of the gym. But Takamura stopped him because he noticed that Ippo was irritated with himself. Takamura drew Umezawa's face and stuck it on the punching bag and said, "Think this is the one bullying you and you will feel better." He then taught Ippo how to punch properly, to step strongly and use the waist when punching. Everyone was amazed when Ippo made the punching bag fly with the power of his punch. Also because of this, the skin on his fist peeled off. Youch. After Takamura treated our hero's fist, Ippo was surprised when Takamura touched him and said that he has a good physique. Takamura also told Ippo that next time he gets bullied, he should fight back. Because apparently, Ippo has a natural talent for punching. Takamura also said, "If you don't do anything, nothing will change." Before he continued his jogging or road work, he gave Ippo a VHS of Mike Tyson's knockout videos. After our protagonist watched these videos, he gradually became fascinated with boxing and couldn't get it out of his mind. The next day, he waited for Takamura to return the VHS and said that he wanted to be a professional boxer, which upset Takamura because he thought that Ippo was belittling boxing by deciding to become a boxer just like that. But our protagonist said that he was determined and wanted to change his lifestyle, and wanted to know also what it feels like to be strong. Takamura then challenged him to catch 10 leaves falling from a tree all at once within a week. After Takamura left, he thought to himself that it was impossible for an amateur to do that, and it would be better for Ippo to just give up his dream. Without fail, Ippo trained every day for this. After a week, Takamura was surprised when our protagonist managed to do it. And here, Ippo learned the first technique in boxing called the jab. Takamura couldn't believe it and thought to himself that he challenged Ippo to catch 10 leaves using both hands. But our protagonist did it with only his left hand. When Ippo got home, he was given a list of exercises to do for an entire month in preparation for his new life as a boxer. After a month, they went to the boxing gym with Takamura, and Kamogawa was furious when he saw Ippo because he couldn't see an ounce of fighting spirits in him. Because of this, Kamogawa set up a sparring match to see if our protagonist really had potential. Here, one of our idols who will become Ippo's rival was introduced. Miyata Ichiro, the genius outboxer. In this match, Takamura will be coaching our protagonist. Takamura also mentioned that Miyata has been taught boxing by his father since he was a child, and in the world of boxers, we call this an elite boxer. Ippo was very scared when he learned this, but Takamura said he didn't need to win. He just needs to show how determined he is to learn boxing. Before the match started, Kamogawa said they would use the 3 knockdown system. and if you get knocked down 3 times in one round, the match is over. Takamura said that he would give instructions each round and what to do, and in the first round, he said to just raise his hands and focus on defense. The match began. Our protagonist's lack of boxing experience showed. He quickly fell after receiving a body blow followed by a left hook to the face. Ippo was surprised because after the body blow, he didn't know what happened next, and when Ippo stood up, he fell again after getting hit with a body blow followed by a solid uppercut. Ippo managed to stand again, and Takamura told him to be like a turtle and just keep going until the end of the first round. The fight resumed and Miyata showered Ippo with body blows, but Ippo was determined not to lower his defense. Here we learned that Miyata was just humoring Ippo and was only using his left hand. Upon hearing Miyata being called weak in his punches, he unleashed a powerful body blow using his right hand. Because of this, Ippo almost got knocked down again, and everyone was shocked that he managed to stay on his feet. Miyata was annoyed by this and pursued Ippo, and just when Ippo was about to be hit by a right straight punch to the face, our hero was saved by the bell, and that's how the first round ended. In Ippo's corner, Takamura was impressed because he was able to take powerful punches, and asked if it was because he was used to being beaten up by his bullies. Our hero said it was probably because of that. Before the second round started, Takamura said that in that round, Ippo would start to attack using his jab, and he suggested that because Miyata was fast, Ippo should corner him and then attack. The second round then began. Everyone was surprised to see our hero in a fighting pose and gradually advancing. Ippo threw a jab which Miyata was able to dodge. Ippo continued to attack using his jab, but all of these were avoided by Miyata. When Miyata was cornered, our hero tried to throw a right straight, but he ended up rolling around because he wasn't used to it yet. Takamura reminded Ippo of his first punch on the punching bag. Ippo started to get tired because he kept throwing jabs, but Ippo was determined, and he let loose a right straight that broke Miyata's defense. He immediately followed this with another right straight, but Miyata was able to avoid it this time. Miyata tried to counter, but the bell rang, ending the second round. In Ippo's corner, Takamura told him to remember everything he taught him, because he will use all of this in the last round of their sparring. The third round then began. Miyata and Kamogawa were surprised when Ippo unleashed a 1-2 punch, but all of these were easily avoided by Miyata. Suddenly, Miyata attacked back and our hero fell after being hit on the chin. Kamogawa said that if you are hit on the chin, your brain shakes, which was the cause of Ippo's fall. Our hero had a hard time standing up because he couldn't control his body, but he didn't give up and forced himself to get up. Everyone was surprised when he managed to stand up again. The fight continued, and as Ippo was advancing, he fell again after being hit by a right straight to the face. Miyata was startled when our hero managed to stand up again. Upon standing up, Ippo determinedly continued his attack. Despite being countered by Miyata's consecutive punches, he didn't fall. But eventually our hero fell down after being hit by a solid counter. Because of this, Ippo lost consciousness. After the fight, Kamogawa agreed to accept Ippo into the boxing gym. It showed how powerful Ippo's punches were, that even though they were just using training gloves, Miyata's hands got bruised because of blocking Ippo's punches. Ippo's training then began and Kamogawa became his personal coach. Here, Ippo first learned mitt training. While they were training, he taunted Miyata, saying that after 3 months of training and having different types of punches, even Miyata would not be able to stop him. Because of this, Kamogawa taught our hero how to do an uppercut, and he said that this would be used in their rematch against Miyata. Ippo also learned how to approach quickly, because he wanted to fight fearlessly and unyieldingly. After 3 months, the day of their rematch came. Before the fight started, Takamura said that their sparring was a 3 knockdown system with 4 rounds. The first round began and Ippo rushed in quickly, but all of his punches were just avoided by Miyata. And when Miyata was about to counter, Ippo dodged and threw a 1-2 punch, which knocked down Miyata in the first round. Upon Miyata standing, Ippo rushed in again and he was the one knocked down after being hit by a solid counter. Ippo got up quickly and the fight continued. Our hero continued to rush at Miyata. Before Miyata could counter Ippo again, he advanced, which weakened Miyata's punch, and he unleashed a solid right straight that knocked down Miyata again. Miyata got up and the fight continued. Ippo rushed in quickly and threw an uppercut, but Miyata avoided it and connected a powerful counter that knocked down our hero. Upon Ippo standing, the first round ended. The second round begins and Ippo continued to be aggressive, but Miyata just clinched the entire round, and the second round ended quickly. In Ippo's corner, Kamogawa said that Miyata was clinching because he still needed to recover from what happened in the first round. The third round started and Miyata began to attack aggressively and showered Ippo with various combinations of punches which knocked him down. Everyone thought that Ippo wouldn't be able to stand up, but he forced himself to get up, and upon standing, the third round ended. In our hero's corner, Kamogawa asked him if he wanted to give up because they've used all their secret techniques, but Ippo was determined and continued the fight. The fourth round began and Miyata continued to be aggressive in his attacks, while Ippo just defended like a turtle with no retaliation. Because Miyata wanted to end the fight with a knockout, Ippo had a chance to counter, and he threw a motionless uppercut that grazed Miyata's chin and knocked him down. As Takamura counted to 10, Miyata was unable to stand up, and Ippo was declared the winner. Because of this, Miyata left the Kamogawa boxing gym to have another chance for a rematch when they become professional boxers. And that's where this video ends. Are you excited to watch the rematch as professional boxers? Do you think it will happen? We'll talk about that once it happens in the manga. This is Onii-Chan Enghan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the upcoming intense fights. See you next time, guys.